Here's everything that happened in the first week of the NBA season. Starting in the Atlantic Division, the Boston Celtics are still the Boston Celtics. The Celtics are off to an amazing start, standing strong at 7-1. Fresh off last season's championship, they've come back with some serious fire, and it's already showing on the court. Let's talk about Jason Tatum. He's been incredible. Through just 8 games, he scored a whopping 106 points in the first quarter alone. And here's the crazy part. The next closest player, Anthony Davis, only has 62. Tatum's been unstoppable from the jump. Plus, Peyton Pritchard's making waves as the favorite for Sixth Man of the Year. Every time he steps on the floor, he brings energy, skill, and the exact spark the Celtics need to keep dominating. It's no surprise they're showing up this strong after last year's championship. This team's on a mission, and every game just proves they're ready to make another serious run for the title. Then after that, let's go out of the country real quick. Toronto. The Raptors have had a tough start, sitting at 2-6, but there's still a lot to get excited about. First off, Grady Dick is showing up in a big way, averaging 22 points per game. He's becoming a go-to player, giving the team an impressive spark. And RJ Barrett, he's been leading the charge with a strong 26 points per game. Sure, there have been setbacks. Both Quickly and Scotty Barnes are dealing with injuries, which hasn't made things easy, but despite the challenges, there's still a reason to celebrate. They just retired Vince Carter's jersey, honoring one of the most legendary Raptors in history. His legacy is huge for this team, and having his jersey up in the rafters feels like a major win for Toronto fans everywhere. This season's been bumpy, but there's still so much potential for the Raptors to turn things around. But then let's hit the 2 New York squads real quick. First up, the Knicks. The Knicks have been exciting so far. They're sitting at 3-3, and while it's early, there are definitely some big moments to look at. Opening night was rough. They got blown out by Boston, but then they turned around and crushed Indiana in their second game. Talk about bouncing back. Jalen Brunson's been phenomenal, averaging 26 points per game and shooting a blistering 50% from 3. The guy's been lights out. And let's not forget Josh Hart, who's averaging 9 rebounds a game. He's only 6'4", but he's grabbing boards like he's 7 feet tall. The team's still figuring out how to work Karl Anthony Towns into the mix. He's got a serious presence on the glass, pulling down 19 rebounds just last night. Once they get that chemistry down with Towns in the lineup, the Knicks could be really dangerous. They've got the pieces. It's just a matter of putting it all together. But after them, we gotta cross the bridge. The Nets have shocked everyone this season. They're sitting at 4-4, and honestly, who saw this coming? Everyone thought they'd struggle, but they've been way better than expected. Cam Thomas and Dennis Schroeder, these two are lighting it up like the second coming of Curry and Clay. Cam's putting up an impressive 25 points per game, proving he's a serious scoring threat every night. This team's got a ton of heart and grit, and it's clear they're out to prove the doubters wrong. Watching them go toe-to-toe with teams that were expected to dominate is just awesome. The chemistry between these guys is building, and they're showing they're more than just an underdog. If they keep playing like this, who knows what they'll pull off this season. The Nets are no joke. They're out here to compete and surprise everyone watching. After them, though, we got the Sixers. The Sixers have had a rough start this season, sitting at 1-5. It's disappointing, especially since Joel Embiid and Paul George still haven't even hit the court, but Tyrese Maxey, he's been on fire, averaging 30 points per game. He's stepping up big time, trying to keep the team afloat. Now, here's a bit of drama. Apparently, Embiid had a heated moment with a reporter who brought up his late brother. Honestly, anyone would get defensive in that situation, so can you blame him? With Embiid and George still out, the Sixers are definitely struggling, but Maxey's giving them a real spark. Once they get their stars back, this team could finally find its groove. The Sixers have the talent, they just need their key guys back on the floor to turn the season around. By the way, if you guys enjoy these deep dives, I'll be posting every day during this season. I genuinely appreciate it. If you could subscribe, thanks. Anyways, next team, let's go down south, the Miami Heat. The Heat are off to a pretty interesting start, holding a 3-3 record. And let me tell you, it's been a mixed bag. They're leading the league in free throw struggles, shooting a rough 71%. That's got to improve if they want to turn those close games into wins. But one bright spot, Tyler Herro. This guy has been nothing short of amazing, averaging 22 points per game with jaw-dropping shooting splits, 49% from the field and 44% from 3. He's bringing energy every night, and his efficiency is off the charts. Then there's Jimmy Butler, averaging 19 points per game, which feels a bit low for him. And Bam Adebayo, he's sitting at 15 points per game. They're solid. But for the Heat to take it up a notch, Butler and Bam might need to find another gear. One big stat, the Heat have been outscored by a massive 131-69 in third quarters at home. If they want to keep fans hyped, they've got to come out of halftime way stronger. This team's got talent, Now they just need to bring it together. Next, we can stay in state. The Orlando Magic are sitting at 3-5, and honestly, their season's been a roller coaster. Paolo Banchero looked like he was ready to jump into MVP contention, but unfortunately, he's out indefinitely after getting hurt. That's been a real blow to their momentum. On the bright side, Jalen Suggs has been stepping up big time, averaging 18 points per game. He's doing everything he can to keep this team competitive, but the last 2 games have been rough. The Magic scored a combined 171 points in those games on just 34% shooting and only 17% from 3. Those are the lowest scoring back-to-back games for any team this season. The Magic definitely have some growing pains to work through. They've got the talent, but they're missing that spark without Banchero on the floor. If they can get their shooting back on track, they've still got a chance to turn things around. Let's see if Suggs and the rest of the squad can keep fighting and bring some magic back to Orlando. After them, though, we can look at the Hawks. The Atlanta Hawks are off to a 3-5 start, but they've still got some exciting storylines. Jalen Johnson has been a huge surprise, averaging 19 points and 10 rebounds a game. Most improved player candidate? He's definitely making his case. Johnson's growth this season has been exactly what the Hawks needed. And let's talk about Trae Young. He's leading the league in assists, setting up his teammates like it's a nightly clinic. The chemistry he's building with this roster is electric, and it shows on the court, even if they're not racking up as many wins as they'd like. The Hawks also snagged the funniest tweet of the season so far, roasting Larry Nance Jr. after his monster dunk. This team's got a great vibe, and they're bringing that energy to social media too. There's still a lot of season left, and with Johnson's breakout and Trae's playmaking, this squad could absolutely turn things around. Keep an eye on Atlanta. They're bringing fun and fire to every game. The Charlotte Hornets are sitting at 2-5, but LaMelo Ball has been putting on a show. He's averaging 29 points per game and keeping the offense alive with his scoring and flashy style. LaMelo's making every game exciting, even if the results haven't always been in their favor. On the other hand, Miles Bridges has been struggling a bit, only putting up 13 points a night. It's a slower start than expected, and the team's definitely feeling it. Then there's Brandon Miller, who's also hit a bit of a wall, dropping from his rookie season's average of 17 points to just 11 this year. This mix of performances has made for a bumpy ride, but with LaMelo lighting it up, there's hope he'll inspire the rest of the squad to step up. If Bridges and Miller can find their rhythm, this team's record could turn around fast. The Hornets have the potential. Now it's all about getting everyone in sync. Keep watching. They've got the spark, and the season's still young. But after them, we gotta look at the Wizards. The Washington Wizards have had an interesting season so far. Jordan Poole's been a bright spot, putting up 23 points per game and showing he's got that scoring punch they need. He's making things happen out there, no doubt. Then there's rookie Bub Carrington, stepping up and scoring 10 points a game. That's solid for a first-year player, and he's only just getting started. Kyle Kuzma, though, hasn't quite found his rhythm. He's been struggling with his shooting percentages, which is a surprise given his usual consistency. But the biggest storyline? Bilal Coulibaly. This guy's been one of the most pleasant surprises of the season. He's averaging 18 points per game on a scorching 55% shooting. He's efficient, he's confident, and he's really making a name for himself. With Poole's scoring, Carrington's potential, and Coulibaly's breakout, this team's got some intriguing pieces. If Kuzma can bounce back and find his form, the Wizards might just surprise a few more people this season. They're building something fun to watch. But now, we gotta look at the last division in the East. And first up, the Milwaukee Bucks. The Milwaukee Bucks have been the most disappointing team in the NBA this season. With a record of 1-6, they've now got the worst record in the Eastern Conference, and that's not where anyone expected them to be. Giannis is still putting up impressive numbers, averaging 31 points and 12 rebounds a game. He's doing everything he can to keep this team afloat, but even he might start thinking about a trade if things don't turn around soon. Dame Lillard's also trying to make an impact, scoring 28 points per game. But with the Bucks losing 6 straight games, the pressure is really on. Remember, they were 30-13 under Adrian Griffin last season before they made the decision to fire him. It's crazy how quickly things can change in the league. Fans are definitely worried right now. With so much talent on this roster, they're just not living up to expectations. They've got to find a way to turn things around fast, or this season could slip away from them. I really hope they can get it together. After them, though, let's look at the Cavs. The Cavs are on fire this season with an incredible record of 8-0. They're the best team in the NBA right now and have the best start in franchise history. It's amazing to see how well they've been playing, and they're doing it with their whole core extended long term. That's got to give fans a lot of hope for the future. Darius Garland has returned, and his impact is undeniable. He's been a key player, helping to elevate the entire team's performance. Then there's Evan Mobley, who's been stepping up his game and even knocking down three-pointers. That's a game changer for their offense. Plus, let's not forget about Georges Niang. His three-point shot is back, and that's adding even more firepower to their already potent offense. And Ty Jerome is back in action too, with his ankle healed. He's ready to contribute and help keep this winning streak alive. I'm loving what I see from the Cavs so far. They're playing with confidence, teamwork, and determination, and it'll be exciting to see how far they can go this season. Then after them, we got the Bulls. The Chicago Bulls have had an interesting start to the season with a record of 3-4. There's a lot to talk about, and I'm excited to see how things develop. One of the biggest surprises has been Josh Giddey. He's averaging 15 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists, which is impressive. He's really stepping up and making an impact. Zach is putting up 23 points a game, showing he's still a force to be reckoned with. And let's not overlook Nikola Vucevic. He's averaging 22 points and 11 rebounds, looking like the Orlando Magic version of himself. It's great to see him playing with that kind of energy. But there's a lot of buzz about possible trades involving Vucevic later in the season. Fans are curious if the Bulls will shake things up to improve their chances. With a bit of a rocky start, they've got some tough decisions ahead. I can't wait to see how this season unfolds for the Bulls. Will they hold on to their stars or make some big moves? Let's move to Indiana though. The Indiana Pacers have had a bit of a rough start this season with a record of 3-4. Last season, they made it to the conference finals, so expectations were high. Tyrese Halliburton has been a bit disappointing, shooting only 38% from the field and 24% from three-point range. But don't let that fool you. In the last 4 games, he's averaging 18 points and 11 assists, showing he can still be a playmaker. One bright spot has been Benedict Mathurin. In his last 3 games, he's been on fire, averaging 21.7 points and 8 rebounds. He's really stepping up and making an impact. It's exciting to watch him grow. While the Pacers are trying to find their groove, they still have some serious talent on the roster. I'm curious to see how Halliburton improves as the season goes on. Can they bounce back from this slow start and replicate their success from last year? With some adjustments, they could make things interesting. Keep an eye on them because this team is full of potential. Then last up in the East, the Detroit Pistons. The Detroit Pistons are looking a lot better this season with a record of 3-5. That's a huge improvement from last year when they only won 3 games in the first 32. Can you believe it? They've already matched their win total from last season. And get this, they have more wins than the Philadelphia 76ers and the Milwaukee Bucks combined. Cade Cunningham has been leading the charge, averaging 23 points, 6 rebounds, and 7 assists. He's showing why he's a rising star in the league. Plus, Jaden Ivey is making waves too, averaging 20 points per game. That's some serious firepower. Recently, they've won 3 out of their last 4 games, including a big victory against the Los Angeles Lakers. How exciting is that? The Pistons are starting to find their rhythm, and fans have every reason to be optimistic. It's great to see them competing and having fun out there. I can't wait to see how they continue to develop as the season goes on. If they keep this up, who knows what they can achieve. Now though, we gotta move to the West. First up, the Houston Rockets. The Houston Rockets are off to a solid start this season with a record of 4-3. That puts them right in the mix as the 4th seed. How exciting is that? Jalen Green is lighting it up, averaging 23 points per game. He's really stepping up and showing he's a force to be reckoned with. I love watching him play. Now, Fred VanVleet hasn't quite found his groove yet, averaging only 13 points per game. But hey, it's still early in the season, and there's plenty of time for him to heat up. When he gets going, he can be a game changer. The Rockets have shown flashes of brilliance and a lot of potential. They're building a young, talented roster that's starting to gel. Fans have a lot to be excited about. With a little more consistency, this team could be a serious contender. I can't wait to see how they keep developing as the season rolls on. Keep an eye on the Rockets because they're definitely making some noise this year. Let's stay in Texas though. The Dallas Mavericks. The Mavs are off to a promising start this season with a record of 4-3. They're aiming to make it back to the finals, and I can't blame them. Luka Doncic is on fire, averaging 29 points, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists per game. He's truly showcasing his superstar talent. However, they hit a bit of a bump in the road during a tough loss to the Pacers, especially without Derek Lively. His absence was felt, and they struggled to find their rhythm. But don't worry, they've still got Kyrie Irving playing great basketball, making a big impact with his scoring and playmaking. Klay Thompson is also stepping up, showing he still has that killer instinct. With such a talented roster, the Mavs are building momentum, and I'm excited to see how they bounce back. They've got the pieces to compete at a high level. As the season rolls on, it'll be interesting to watch how they come together and chase that championship. Fans should definitely stay tuned because this team is just getting started. The last Texas team, though, the Spurs. The San Antonio Spurs are having an interesting season with a record of 3-4. Victor Wembanyama is still getting his feet wet, averaging 19 points per game. But don't let those numbers fool you. He's already had a 5x5 game, showcasing his incredible all-around skills. Just the other night, he swatted away 9 shots. Can you believe that? Wemby is in a league of his own, being the only player to have 3 games with 9 or more blocks before turning 21. Chris Paul is also making his mark, averaging 12 points and 9 assists, providing that veteran leadership the team needs. I'm really curious to see how the young Spurs develop this season. And let's not forget about Coach Greg Popovich. He's been a legend, and I hope he's doing okay after his recent health scare. As they continue to grow and learn, the excitement around Wemby is palpable. I can't wait to see how he adapts and starts lighting up the scoreboard. This Spurs team has some bright spots, and there's definitely more to come this season. Keep your eyes on them. After them, we can move on to Memphis. The Memphis Grizzlies are sitting at a 4-4 record this season. Ja Morant is averaging 21 points and 9 assists per game, but he really needs to step it up and score more. With the talent he has, fans are expecting fireworks every night. Jaren Jackson is also putting in work, averaging 20 points per game, giving the Grizzlies some much-needed firepower. And can we talk about Zach Edey? He lit it up last night with 25 points, showcasing just how dangerous he can be on the court. But it's been a tough stretch for Memphis lately. They dropped 2 games to the Brooklyn Nets in the span of a week. Talk about embarrassing. I know they're banged up, but losing to the Nets like that just shouldn't happen. The Grizzlies need to find their rhythm and get back to playing the basketball they're capable of. As the season rolls on, it'll be interesting to see how they adjust and overcome these challenges. I'm excited to see how Morant and Jackson lead the charge moving forward. Let's hope they can turn things around. But last up in this division, the Pelicans. The New Orleans Pelicans are currently sitting at a 3-5 record this season. It's been an insane ride, with injuries hitting the team hard. CJ McCollum, Herb Jones, and DeJounte Murray are all dealing with injuries, which definitely puts a damper on their chances. But there's still plenty of excitement on the court. Zion Williamson is averaging 21 points and 8 rebounds per game, and you know he's always a highlight, waiting to happen. His explosive style keeps fans on the edge of their seats. Brandon Ingram is also bringing his A game, averaging 25 points per game. I love watching him light it up and carry the scoring load for the team. Even with the injuries, these two are showing what they can do when they're in rhythm. If the Pelicans can get healthy and keep building on their chemistry, they could turn the season around. It'll be exciting to see how they adapt and grow as they navigate these challenges. I'm looking forward to watching them bounce back and make some noise in the league. After that, though, let's move to the California teams. We'll start with the Lakers. The Los Angeles Lakers are off to a solid start with a record of 4-3. Anthony Davis is absolutely on fire this season, averaging an incredible 33 points and 12 rebounds per game. He's really making a case for MVP, and I can't get enough of his dominant performances. LeBron James is still going strong in his 22nd season, averaging 22 points, 7 rebounds, and 8 assists. It's impressive to see him maintaining such high levels at this stage of his career. However, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. They took a tough loss to the Pistons last night, which I'm sure stings. It's games like these that can really shake up a team's confidence, especially when they've been looking so good overall. Also, JJ is a much better coach than Darvin Ham. I'm excited to see how the Lakers respond moving forward. With Davis and LeBron leading the charge, they have the talent to make some noise this season. Let's see what they can do next. But we'll stay in Los Angeles. The Clippers. The Los Angeles Clippers have had a bit of an interesting start to the season, holding a record of 3-4. James Harden is making his mark, averaging 21 points, 9 assists, and 10 rebounds. That's some impressive playmaking from him, and it's exciting to see how he's fitting in. But wait, there's still a big question mark hanging over the team. Kawhi Leonard still hasn't played. His absence is definitely felt, and fans are eager to see him back on the court. Just imagine how dynamic this team could be with him at full strength. Last night was a turning point as they celebrated their first win in the new arena. The energy must have been electric. Norman Powell is also lighting it up, averaging 25 points per game. He's stepping up and showing that he can be a key player for this team. With Harden doing his thing and Powell on fire, I'm curious to see how the Clippers evolve as the season progresses. They've got the talent to compete, but they need everyone healthy to make a real push. Let's hope Kawhi returns soon. But after them, we got the Kings. The Sacramento Kings are off to a solid start this season with a record of 4-3. DeMar DeRozan is absolutely on fire, averaging 25.4 points per game. He's not just scoring, he's also contributing with 4.3 rebounds and 4 assists. And get this, he's leading the NBA in clutch points and field goals made. Talk about stepping up when it matters most. Sabonis is doing his thing too, averaging 21 points and an incredible 13 rebounds per game. He's the best in the league when it comes to rebounding, and that's crucial for the Kings. His presence in the paint really helps the team control the boards. De'Aaron Fox is also making his mark, averaging 24 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists. He's showing off his all-around game and keeping the pressure on opposing defenses. With DeRozan's clutch play, Sabonis dominating the boards, and Fox lighting it up, the Kings are looking like a team that can really make some noise this season. I'm excited to see how they keep building on this momentum. Then we got the Warriors. The Golden State Warriors are absolutely crushing it this season with an impressive record of 6-1. What's really wild is they've gone 3-0 without Steph Curry. That just shows how deep this team really is. Buddy Hield is lighting it up, averaging 22 points per game and shooting an incredible 50% from three-point range. He's proving he can really be a game changer. They're not just about individual performances though. As a team, the Warriors are serious contenders in this league. They're ranked 3rd in points per game, 1st in rebounds per game, and 3rd in assists per game. That's some solid all-around play. Plus, they're 4th in steals per game and 3rd in blocks per game. Talk about defense. What's even more impressive? They're the only team in the top 5 for every statistical category. That kind of balance is what makes them so dangerous. I can't wait to see how they keep this momentum going. With this kind of performance, the Warriors are definitely a force to be reckoned with. Keep your eyes on it. After that, though, we'll go to Phoenix. The Phoenix Suns are absolutely on fire this season with an incredible record of 6-1. Kevin Durant is doing his thing, averaging an impressive 27.1 points per game and grabbing 6.6 rebounds. He's showing just how dominant he can be. And let's not forget about Devin Booker. He's not just scoring, he's also facilitating, averaging 25 points and 6 assists per game. That kind of production makes him a dual threat every time he steps on the court. Bradley Beal is fitting right in too, averaging 17 points per game while shooting 50% from the field. He's adding another layer to this already potent offense. With these 3 superstars leading the charge, the Suns are looking like serious contenders in the league. They've got the scoring power, the playmaking, and the overall talent to make a deep playoff run. I'm loving what I'm seeing from them. If they keep this up, they'll be a nightmare for any team they face. This season is definitely heating up in Phoenix. After them, though, let's move to Denver. The Denver Nuggets are sitting at a record of 4-3 this season, and let me tell you, they're riding the incredible talent of Nikola Jokic. This guy is a one-man show, ranking 5th in the league with an astonishing 29.6 points per game. But he's not just a scorer. He's also grabbing 12.6 rebounds, putting him 3rd in that category. Jokic is dishing out the assists too, averaging 10.4, which ranks 2nd. He's proving once again why he's a perennial MVP candidate. Oh, and did I mention he's shooting 53.1% from beyond the arc? That's good for 3rd in the league. It's clear he's the heart and soul of this team, and without him, they'd be in trouble. If he keeps up this level of play, there's a strong chance he could snag his 4th MVP award. Watching him dominate the court is pure entertainment, and I can't wait to see how the Nuggets will perform as the season rolls on. They're a team to watch for sure. Let's go to Portland real quick though. The Portland Trail Blazers are currently sitting at a record of 3-5 this season. It's been a ride, but they've already snagged more wins against the New Orleans Pelicans than the Milwaukee Bucks have total wins. Just something kind of funny. Sorry, Bucks fans. But DeAndre Ayton is stepping up, averaging 14 points and 12 rebounds per game. He's a big presence in the paint, and his performance is crucial for the Blazers. Then there's Anthony Simons, who's putting up 20 points per game. However, his shooting splits haven't been pretty, and he'll need to find some consistency if they want to climb the standings. The Blazers have shown flashes of potential, but it's clear they've got some work to do. They need to figure out their offensive rhythm and tighten up on defense to compete with the best teams in the league. With their ups and downs, it's going to be exciting to see how this season unfolds. Fans should definitely stay tuned because this team has the potential to surprise everyone as the season progresses. After them though, we got the Wolves. The Minnesota Timberwolves are off to a solid start this season with a record of 4-3. Anthony Edwards is lighting it up, averaging an impressive 27 points per game. He's really emerging as a star player, and it's exciting to watch him dominate on the court. Julius Randle's also contributing nicely, putting up 21 points a game, showing he's a key asset for the team. Defense wins championships, right? They're definitely serious contenders. The energy around this team is palpable, and fans should be thrilled. If Edwards keeps playing at this level, who knows how far they can go. I'm excited to see how the rest of the season unfolds for the Timberwolves. They've got the talent and the drive to make some noise in the playoffs. After them, though, arguably the worst team so far, Utah. The Utah Jazz finally got their first win last night, breaking that tough start with a record of 1-6. George was absolutely on fire, dropping 33 points, grabbing 1 rebound, and dishing out 9 assists. What a performance. John Collins also stepped up big time with 28 points, 13 rebounds, and 5 assists. Then there's Colin Sexton, who added 24 points along with 2 rebounds and 5 assists. It's awesome to see these guys finding their rhythm, especially after such a rough beginning. But let's be real. Overall, the Jazz don't look great right now. There's definitely some work to do on both ends of the court if they want to turn the season around. With their current struggles, it might be time to start thinking about the future. Maybe they'll land a top draft pick like Cooper Flagg, who could really shake things up for the franchise. There's still a lot of basketball left to play, and I'm hoping to see the Jazz build on that first win and start stringing together some more victories. Let's keep an eye on how they develop. But finally, the last team, the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Oklahoma City Thunder are absolutely lighting it up this season with a stunning record of 7-0. Can you believe that? SGA is leading the charge, averaging 26 points, 7 rebounds, and 7 assists. What a superstar. Even with Hartenstein still nursing an injury and not playing yet, this team hasn't missed a beat. They're breaking records left and right, becoming the first team in NBA history to win their first 10 games by at least 10 points. That's just wild. And get this, they're currently ranked as the second best defense of all time. Their defensive tenacity is something to behold. They're shutting down opponents and making it tough for anyone to score. It's super exciting to see this young team gel and find success early in the season. If they keep this up, they could be a serious threat in the playoffs. I'm really looking forward to seeing how they continue to grow and if they can keep this incredible momentum going. It's definitely Thunder time. But yeah, that's everything that's happened so far this NBA season. If you guys enjoyed this, I'll be posting every day during this season. I genuinely appreciate it if you could subscribe. Thanks for watching.